Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we're diving into a chilling vision of modern warfare that's no longer science fiction. A future where drones fight drones, and humans just sit back and watch. The battlefield is transforming faster than anyone could have imagined. What once required thousands of soldiers, tanks, and aircraft can now be executed by autonomous flying machines, coded with algorithms and powered by artificial intelligence. This is the dawn of drone warfare, not controlled by humans with joysticks, but guided by machine learning systems that decide how battles unfold. As technology continues to advance, drones have evolved from simple reconnaissance tools into fully capable combat units. They can hunt, identify, and destroy targets with minimal human oversight. In this new kind of battlefield, human soldiers are becoming observers rather than participants. The concept of bravery, sacrifice, and ground combat is being replaced by cold, calculated decisions made by machines. These machines don't hesitate, don't fear, and don't feel guilt. They simply execute their mission as programmed. The rise of AI-powered drones began with surveillance and reconnaissance. Initially, they were designed to gather information, track enemy movement, and reduce risks to human soldiers. But as nations realized the potential of unmanned systems, they started investing billions into developing autonomous weapons. The result is a new arms race, not for nuclear weapons or missiles, but for algorithms and data. Whoever controls the most intelligent drones might control the future of war itself. Imagine a sky filled with thousands of drones, each communicating with others, forming intelligent swarms capable of strategic maneuvers. These drones can share information instantly, identify enemy targets, and adjust tactics in real time, all without human command. On the other side, opposing forces deploy their own swarms. The result is chaos in the air. Drones intercepting drones, algorithms battling algorithms, and humans left only to watch data streams on massive digital screens. This concept isn't far away. In fact, militaries around the world are already experimenting with AI-driven drone systems. The U.S., China, Russia, and even smaller nations are testing drone swarms that can act autonomously. The idea is simple but terrifying. Machines that can think faster than humans, react instantly, and adapt mid-battle. Traditional weapons become obsolete when your opponent can deploy thousands of low-cost, self-guided drones that overwhelm defenses in seconds. In these future conflicts, the battlefield will no longer have clear front lines. Drones can appear anywhere in cities, forests, deserts, or even underwater. They can attack enemy infrastructure, disrupt communications, and disable power grids, all while being nearly impossible to detect. Cyber warfare and drone warfare merge into one invisible fight, where digital attacks and physical destruction happen simultaneously. The person commanding these drones might be thousands of miles away, or worse, there might be no human commander at all. Autonomous drones rely on AI models trained on vast amounts of data. They can recognize human shapes, military vehicles, or enemy emblems. They analyze terrain, weather, and movement patterns, making tactical choices faster than any general could. In theory, this makes warfare more efficient, fewer mistakes, less collateral damage, and faster decision-making. But in reality, it raises frightening ethical questions. What happens when an AI makes the wrong decision? Who takes responsibility when a drone kills civilians because it misidentified a target? Some argue that autonomous systems could make wars cleaner by reducing human suffering. But others fear the opposite, wars becoming easier to start because human lives aren't immediately at risk. When leaders know they can send machines instead of soldiers, the moral barrier to initiating conflict drops drastically. A world where wars are fought by robots might sound like a way to save lives, but it also risks making global violence far more common. The psychological impact is equally deep. Imagine soldiers who train not to fight, but to watch. They sit behind screens, monitoring the actions of drones as they destroy targets thousands of miles away. They don't feel the mud, hear the explosions, or see the faces of their enemies. Over time, this detachment can reshape what it means to be a warrior. The human cost of war shifts from physical wounds to emotional and ethical scars. Soldiers become data analysts. Generals become programmers. As drones take over combat roles, another silent war emerges, the war of code. Nations will not just compete for better drones, but for superior AI systems that can outthink, outmaneuver, and outsmart the enemy's algorithms. Cyber attacks will aim not at soldiers, but at the brains of drones. A single line of malicious code could turn a nation's fleet against itself. This new kind of sabotage could be invisible, silent, and devastatingly effective. There's also the question of control. Can humans truly maintain control over autonomous weapons once they are deployed? History shows that technology often evolves faster than regulations can keep up. Even today, international law struggles to define clear rules for AI in warfare. If two autonomous systems engage in combat and escalate unpredictably, can anyone intervene fast enough to stop it? The fear of losing control over machines capable of destruction is no longer a movie plot. It's a real and pressing danger. In a world dominated by drone warfare, intelligence and data will be the ultimate weapons. Satellites, communication relays, and digital networks become prime targets. Destroying or hacking an opponent's information flow could cripple entire military operations. Future battles won't just be fought with explosions, but with lines of code and algorithms that predict and manipulate outcomes. It's a war where information supremacy equals survival. As this technology advances, the line between military and civilian use also blurs. Civilian drones can easily be modified into lethal weapons. A simple delivery drone could be turned into an explosive or a surveillance tool. This raises new security threats, as wars might not only happen between nations, but also within societies, driven by non-state actors or rogue AI systems. Public opinion and international laws are struggling to keep pace. Many human rights organizations are calling for a ban on fully autonomous weapons, arguing that removing human judgment from life and death decisions is fundamentally wrong. Yet, as history has shown, once a weapon is possible to create, someone eventually will. The temptation of having a self-operating army is too powerful for governments to ignore. If we project a few decades into the future, the battlefield might become almost unrecognizable. Humans will sit in underground command centers, watching massive screens that display the movements of thousands of drones. AI systems will handle targeting, logistics, and engagement. Humans will only step in if something goes wrong, a role more of supervision than participation. The speed of combat will be so fast that no human could make timely decisions. Only algorithms will be capable of keeping up. This future raises a haunting question. Are we creating weapons we can no longer control? When AI systems begin to learn and adapt independently, their actions might become unpredictable. Even their creators might not fully understand how they make decisions. In a combat scenario, that uncertainty could lead to catastrophic consequences. A single glitch, an unexpected data input, or an enemy hack could turn an intelligent drone swarm into a global disaster. The emotional distance between humans and warfare also grows. Wars fought by machines might desensitize societies to violence. Death becomes statistics on a screen rather than a tragedy felt in homes. The moral responsibility becomes diluted when decisions are made by code instead of conscience. Humanity risks losing its empathy in the process of achieving technological dominance. On the other hand, defenders of autonomous warfare argue that AI can save lives. By removing humans from the battlefield, we can prevent casualties and psychological trauma. Drones don't tire, don't get scared, and don't act out of emotion. They can follow precise ethical guidelines, in theory, better than humans in the chaos of combat. The real challenge lies in ensuring those ethical guidelines are embedded correctly, and that they stay there. The future battlefield won't be about who has the biggest army, but who has the smartest algorithms. Machine learning models trained on years of warfare data will predict enemy tactics and deploy countermeasures automatically. Drones will communicate using encrypted quantum networks, impossible to jam or hack. Ground robots will coordinate with aerial drones, while underwater drones monitor submarine movements. Every domain, air, land, sea, and space, will be connected through AI-driven coordination. The role of humans in such a system might shrink even further. Decision-making could become fully automated, where AI not only executes attacks, but also decides when and where to strike. Humans may simply approve or monitor these operations, trusting the machine's judgment over their own. The phrase human in the loop may eventually disappear, replaced by human on the loop, or even no human at all. This evolution forces us to confront the ultimate ethical question: should machines ever have the power to decide who lives and who dies? For centuries, warfare, as brutal as it was, remained a human endeavor tied to human judgment and responsibility. Now, we stand on the edge of transferring that power to emotionless systems. The danger isn't just in the technology itself, but in our willingness to let it replace us. As nations rush to outpace each other in AI-driven warfare, global instability could grow. Once these systems are deployed, escalation becomes easier and faster. Conflicts could ignite and intensify within minutes. A miscommunication between two autonomous systems could lead to destruction before any human can intervene. The risk of accidental wars increases exponentially. In the end, the image of the future battlefield might not show soldiers charging into gunfire, but engineers, data scientists, and strategists watching from control rooms as swarms of drones engage in deadly choreography. The silence in those rooms may be the most unsettling sound of all, because in that silence, humans will have surrendered their role in one of the most defining aspects of civilization: decision to fight or to make peace. The age of drone versus drone warfare is coming faster than we think. It's not a question of if, but when, and when it does arrive, the world will have to decide what place humanity has left in the act of war, as commanders, as observers, or merely as spectators of our own creations. The future battlefield might belong to machines, but the consequences will still belong to us.